there was a kingdom in the faraway land. The name of the kingdom is called Odumeke. There came a time that a dangerous famine came into the land, and the farming started to sweep the life of many people away. On a daily basis, people were dying of hunger and thirst. Suddenly, the river dried up and the hunters who goes for hunting do not have anything to catch again. The fishermen started staying at home due to the lack of water in the river. And because there was no rain, everyone who were into farming suddenly began to stay at home. The poverty was so overwhelming that all the villagers began to cry for help. Who will help us? Who will give us food? How are we going to survive? After a long period of time, the people of the village continued dying of thirst and hunger. When they did their best, and their best could not help again, they decided to meet the king. When they met their king, the king was putting on sackcloth because he has been thinking on how to help his land, and he has not discovered the solution yet. When the people of the village came to his palace, he was not sitting on his throne. He was inside mourning and weeping for his land. His guard came to the place and called him, "O king, the people are here. They want to see you." The king came outside from the place where he was mourning and met the people. They all saw him and bowed in courtesy. "O king, live forever," spokesman who came with them then opened his mouth and spake. "It is the animals that is in the hole that makes the hunter go for digging. Nothing happens for nothing. We should not have come, if not because there is a problem that made us all to come this. We are aware that you know the problem already. Our noble king, we are all dying of hunger and there is no one to help us. That is why we have come to ask you for help." The king greeted them and answered them that he has done all his best, but it has not worked out yet, and that they should give him more time, that he will certainly bring the kingdom to the limelight of greatness and prosperity again. "I promise that there will be enough food and wine for everyone in this kingdom again, and it will happen soon." On saying this, he dismissed them. The king decided to travel to another kingdom, far away from his place, to seek for help. When he arrived, he met a soothsayer, and he asked the soothsayer for help. That his country is almost finished because of hunger, and that there is nothing they haven't done to stop it. "What is the cause of this evil in my kingdom? How do I deliver the land out of it?" the king said. The soothsayer did his enchantment and told the king that the land had transgressed mightily against the gods of the land, and that they needed to appease the gods, and that the price for saving the land is high. The king asked him to name it that he will pay, but he said it is a great price that is not easy to be paid, and that the payment will not even be done to him, but it will be done in his kingdom. When the king persisted, he told the king that the gods needed the sacrifice of the greatest warrior of the land, and the greatest warrior of the kingdom is the prince, the apparent heir to the throne. The king has only one son. The son is the strongest and most noble young man in the country. Everyone loves and cherishes him because of his life and action. The king became very confused. He left the soothsayer and went back to his kingdom. "How do I sacrifice my only son, who would become king when I die?" That night he could not sleep. The next day, the people of the kingdom came to hear what the king had to say. The king disclosed the matter to them, and they all began to weep. "How do we lose our only noble prince?" But at the center of the cry, Prince came and asked them to calm down. He told them that he will go and pay the price. They said no, that instead the calamity should continue. Then the prince answered and said unto them, I am a prince and hoping to one day become a king because of them. He continued to say, if the kingdom is destroyed today, then how would he become a king in the future? I would die for my people and bring peace and great wealth to the land. The prince left them to go to the White Mountain, where our sacrifice should be done. The queen could not stop crying, but there was nothing she could do. All the villagers followed after him until they got there. The prince climbed the White Mountain and said, I have come to lay down my life for my people in order for them to prosper and have all they needed. I present myself for the land's prosperity, fame, strength, and glory. And my deaths should bring health to the sick. My death should bring children to the barren. My death should bring back rain and all that is needed in the land. On saying this, he touched the part of the White Mountain that relates to sacrifice, and he fell down and died. Immediately, he died. Smoke started coming out of his body. He caught literal fire. He burned until he was completely burnt. The smoke of his burning went up straight to the heavens, and immediately, cloud formed. Before they knew it, there came thunder and lightning, and a mighty wind started blowing. The villagers started running home, and on their way home, rain started falling. It rained mightily and the rivers overflowed its boundaries. People went to the riverside and saw fish in great numbers. They gathered the fish until they became tired. The hunters started hunting, and they caught mighty fishes. Farms started yielding well again. The land became very fruitful and great. The fame of its wealth traveled all over other kingdoms. But the amazing part of the story was that the queen became pregnant again and gave birth to a baby boy. The boy looks like the prince who sacrificed himself. This brought great joy and celebration to both the king and all his subjects. The boy grew and became very mighty, and all the people of the land rejoiced having a man like that in their land. All that the prince said before his death, all came to pass. The people never forgot about him. They fixed a date, and on that day, they saw the remembrance of the death of their prince that brought them all the wealth that they now enjoy. This is the end of the story.